I move that we get a Creed film every year for the next decade. Everybody say aye. Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Cam, here with my brief thoughts on Creed 3. This was directed by Michael B. Jordan. It also stars him as well as Jonathan Majors and Tessa Thompson. This is the third movie in the now Creed trilogy and the latest in the Rocky/Creed franchise. When we pick up where Creed 2 left off, Adonis Creed is retired. He is retired the heavyweight champion. He has a boxing gym now. His wife is very successful in the music world. Their daughter is growing up. Although she is deaf, she is in a loving environment. What could go wrong? Well, a figure from Adonis's past in the form of Damien, played by Jonathan Majors, shows up after a lengthy stint in prison. Before he went to prison, Damien was a very successful amateur boxer and wants into the pros. However, Adonis is a bit hesitant. However, using the power of friendship, Damien is let in, and, well, it doesn't end well for Adonis, and it's up to Adonis to break his retirement and face Damien once and for all. If you've been paying attention to the channel for a minute now, I have covered all the Rocky and the Creed movies on the road to Creed 3, and I've had a great time doing it. The Rocky franchise is probably one of the more steady film franchises going, because we are on, if you count them as part of one big thing, we are on movie 9, and yet they're still of a certain quality, and they're still just overall loved by pretty much everyone. That's impressive. I was hoping beyond belief that this movie would be good, and this movie was everything, and all of that, and then some, and more. Firstly, though, Michael B. Jordan is predictably great as Adonis Creed, but really, this being his first movie that he's ever directed, it's honestly done really well, especially the fight scenes. Now, it has been noted in a lot of reviews that Michael B. Jordan pulled from his love of anime to conduct these fight scenes, and the anime influence is very clear. And while this might turn some people off, I love it. I am kind of slowly working my way through anime. Mike Thomas from the Novice Cinephile and the Chatter After recommended to me to start with Cowboy Bebop, and I'm slowly working my way through that. So I'm getting myself educated, but I've seen enough manga panels to know where the influence was definitely shining like a diamond. The fights in this movie are positively brutal, especially the final fight, and I won't give away what happens. But there is a body shot, and unfortunately it got spoiled for me. Thank you, Twitter, for that. But it got spoiled for me, and it knocked the wind out of me sitting in the theater. There's another brutal looking moment in a fight before the final fight in which Dame gets like punched in the jaw, and then he goes to his corner and the trainer's like, remove your mouth guard, and he takes it out, and one of his teeth comes out. I recoiled. I just was like, oh God, I was just like, oh my goodness, that was just gross. I have seen horror movies with gore that I'm like, all right, that's cool. That literally it made my stomach turn. That's how gross it was. But there is a lot of story to go around here, and it's all told pretty well overall. Like I said, Michael B. Jordan is great. Jonathan Majors nearly steals the entire thing. He is so impressive as Dame, and honestly, without spoiling anything, how they leave things off, I hope he's brought back. I want to see more out of this relationship, because Michael B. Jordan has said that a Creed 4 is coming and more stuff after that. So I'm just saying there's a lot left to be done with the Creed and Dame relationship. I'd love to see where they take that. What makes this character, that being Dame, so effective is the fact that he does very bad things, but at the same time, you kind of get it. He's not so sympathetic to the point where you're cheering for the bad guy. Far from it. I wanted to see him get knocked out. However, I hated his guts, but I didn't hate his motivation. It's kind of like the old adage of love the sinner, hate the sin, if that makes any sense at all. It's a needle thin thread to walk a line like that, and this movie did it with grace. I like what they did with Tessa Thompson's character. I am very impressed with how they're using her, and I hope to see her back. The relationship between like the whole Creed family, I thought was very touching, especially the daughter. I would love to see like movies where we see her kind of grow up and see how her 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 hearing difficulties play into that, because it's heavily implied that she definitely wants to become a boxer, and I would like to see where that goes. There are characters that I did not expect to see showing up here. It fairly recently in the Creed movies. I did not expect to see a particular character, but it was nice to see him back. That's all I will say. There are references, especially to other Rocky movies, especially in the score, but they're kind of subtle, so they're not completely overbearing. This movie is very much a Creed movie with some Rocky DNA sprinkled in, and I thought that it was very well handled. My one lone singular gripe, and really it's small, grand scheme. There's a point in the story in which how Dame becomes the number one contender, it felt incredibly convenient, and I won't spoil it here, but basically there is a moment that happens, and it's just one of those moments where it's like it's this one thing set up and then it falls apart, and then another thing is cobbled together last minute. It's very much like it feels very plot armory. That's just me anyway. Like I said, grand scheme of things, the movie is so good that I can almost ignore that. I stress almost. But just the fact that we are at the third movie in a spin-off series, and it is somehow just as good as the others, I mean, that's like miracle stuff right there. This movie gets an amazing grade. This is easily my favorite movie of the year so far. Sorry, Missing. I love you. But Creed 3 is taking your spot, because this movie is fantastic. It was everything I wanted and so much more. If you have not seen it, go see it. Like, immediately. That's your homework assignment. However, the theater experience that I had to go through to enjoy this movie was almost unbearable. So expect a part 2 video in which I rant and rave about my terrible theater experience, but that'll be upcoming. Have you seen Creed 3? What did you think about it? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I would love to read what you have to say. And if you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below. And if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to allow notifications. That way when a new video drops, you'll be the first to know about it. My name is Ryan Cam, and I'll see you in the next one.